one's probably going to be a bit more emotional than the other ones, which scares me. Hey guys, it's model making time, and today we're doing the Frecce Tricolori's most recent aircraft, the Aeramacchi MB-339. This is the only aircraft I've ever seen the Frecce Tricolori use, because when I grew up, that's what they were already using. So to me, this is the Frecce Tricolori, and it's the one I'm most excited to build. I remember when Italeri re-released this kit the first time. As we've said previously, this is the only Italeri kit in this Italeri box set, which is really odd, but you know, we built some nice models so far. This will complete the history of the Frecce Tricolori, but with that, we need to talk about where the MB-339 fell into the Frecce Tricolori's history, and, well, one particular event. The MB-339 is actually a replacement for another Italian training aircraft, which I've always found weird that the Frecce Tricolori did not use in the first place. The aircraft I'm referring to is the MB-326. This was actually used by some other air display teams, including the Silver Falcons of South Africa and also by the Brulettes in Australia. Alas, it was not to be for the Italian display team. They would carry on using the Fiat GR91 until the MB-326's replacement, the MB-339, also built by Aeramacchi, came into service. The MB-339 started with the Frecce Tricolori in 1982 and continued to serve them today. The MB-339 became their primary mount in 1982 and actually still serves them as of recording, which is 2021. However, it is expected they'll be using the M345 soon. The aircraft is also based on an older Italian jet trainer design, which was the Aeramacchi S211, which really only got fame with the Philippine Air Force. So it'll be really interesting to see the Italians actually use an older design. Gosh, it's kind of confusing, isn't it? So I guess we need to go on to the actually kind of serious part of this video, which is highlighting what happened to the Frecce Tricolori and why they are famous for something other than just being a display team. On August 28, 1988, there was a mid-air collision in Ramstein. This would later be known and referenced as the Ramstein airshow disaster. The collision itself consisted of the Frecce Tricolori when they were performing their PSR manoeuvre. During the course of this manoeuvre, 3 aircraft would collide. Following the collision, the aircraft hit the runway but also went into the crowd. There were approximately 500 injuries resulting from this collision, and even more devastatingly, there were 70 fatalities. I don't try to bring down the mood of any of my videos, but I do just want to sort of take a moment to respect the fact that so many people lost their lives and the importance of air show safety and why things have changed so much today. It also led to lots of other display teams reassessing whether or not they would continue, including one we've already looked at previously, the Double Dutch display team. I am not experienced enough to know how to transition from this, so forgive me if this isn't the best, but let's go and have a look at what's inside the model box. Obviously we're going to try our absolute best to build a beautiful MB-339 in the Frecce Tricolori scheme from, well, their 50th anniversary. Boom! So no box this time. This is the last one really in this set, so I know, I just thought we'll just get it out and see what it's like. This is also the wrong instructions. Presentation of this kit is a lot nicer, so this one actually all comes sealed because this is just ripped out from an Italeri boxing they already have. All the other kits, as I say, one was Academy, one was Ravel. They're not Italeri's own, they've just made the decal. So this one is the only one really where it's just Italeri's own kit that they've repackaged. I'm gonna have a look at the decals first, and I do like these. Again, it's gonna be very similar to what we've had before. I have had some issue with one set of decals, mainly on the F86. I mean, if you haven't seen that video already, go and have a look at it. And likewise, the G91 is also mostly fine. Again, go watch that one if you haven't already. But these seem pretty good. I like Italeri decals. They seem to do a pretty good job. I don't think they're the best decals in the world, but they are pretty good. Like they're not bad by any means. Okay, and the sprues themselves, wow, these look really nice actually. Wow, I'm really excited for this. It looks really straightforward though. Like, I'm kind of surprised. I thought this would be, I don't know, more like there's more on a hawk to do, but this is literally just 2 sprues. This is going to take me no time at all to build. The detailing seems okay too. The panel lines have different depths to them. It actually seems quite nice. Cockpit is relatively bare bones, but I think it'll look nice. Again, I'm not bothered about cockpits on 1/72nd scale. You don't look in them, or I don't, so I'm not that bothered. Okay, so I'm glad that the plastic part is bagged on its own. It's nothing worse than having it rattling around in the box loose where it just gets damaged. This looks like it's marked pretty nicely. You can see the line where the canopy line here. Again, pretty good quality. What I'd expect from any, mainstream manufacturer, to be honest. So there's nothing surprising here, but it's good to know that it's nice quality. So we're on to the actual construction of the model kit itself, and as we said in the actual unboxing, this is clearly geared towards newer model makers, older or new, which I think is great. When you go to an air show or something, I always think, it's going to be these sorts of kits that appeal to people when they've just watched their favourite display scheme. So yeah, really glad that this kit is so simple. The construction itself is straightforward too. The cockpit was really easy to put together and looks really effective. Given the actual amount of parts that it took to put together, it's not, one that has loads of photo etch or anything else that you need to put in there to make it look great. It looks fantastic on its own. And again, I think at 1/72nd scale, you can either spend ages making it look absolutely incredible, but you probably won't actually see a lot of the detail unless you are building it in an open cockpit configuration, which my guess is most people who buy this kit probably aren't. I mean, I know I definitely did not either. Now, I did add in some weight to the front as well to make sure that we had a nose sitter rather than a tail sitter, because I made that mistake on the F-86, and well, we all know how that one turned out, didn't we? It didn't turn out how it was meant to be there. So yeah, added plenty of weight because of the construction of the kit as well, with the front nose wheel being just a little dent in the bottom of it. You've got all of the front to use. You don't have to worry about anything showing through, which again is really, really handy, to be perfectly honest with you, especially whilst they haven't got any fitting weight or lead. Still need to get some. You can see that I'm painting the cockpit as well. Painting the cockpit, I used some reference photos online. I don't think instructions generally are pretty good for cockpits. I always use photos online to make sure I've got the most accurate colours I can. I'm not massively fussed on cockpits. I've said this a million times. Because they're so small, I don't really see the point in them. I just want to get something that looks vaguely accurate, because the main thing I'm looking at is the outside of the model kit, the actual livery on the outside. That's what I care about absolutely above all. So again, I'm not too worried about the tiny little cockpit. Now the overall assembly, pretty straightforward. You can see I've always put the wings on already. And then after that, it was just a case of merging everything together. It was one of the easiest kits I think I've ever put together, even though I built like a million Hawks. I think I've built 2 Hawks in this channel. I built Midnight Hawks and Cloudy Hawks, and I think I built Red Arrows one ages ago as well. So yeah, this matches sort of the simplicity of the newer Airfix kits. Definitely one of the model kits I'd recommend with any newcomer to the hobby. And you could paint this in lots of different schemes as well. A lot of countries have used this aircraft, so it's definitely a good one for newcomers to the hobby. So we are on to the painting of the model kit. Now, I looked around online a lot to find out what paint would match best, and a lot of people reference sort of what the Blue Angels use. The Blue Angels actually use several different shades of blue. So I looked around for ages to find out what I thought would be best, and essentially, I think I've discussed before that they don't seem to use the same FS or federal standard as a lot of places do, and what matches best is Lufthansa Blue from Revell Aquacolor range. So I used that. I'd done it on top of a white base coat, which is Citadel's sort of white or something white, and that looks amazing underneath. And we're doing a lot of light layers to build up this rich, vibrant blue that honestly, once it gets sort of glossed over afterwards, you just want to swim in. It looks so bloody beautiful. Once it's done, it looks absolutely incredible. The underside as well, we're going to be doing an aluminium, so having that white base is going to again help with the vibrancy. A grey probably would have done absolutely fine. We would have got the same sort of sheen in the end, but I just feel more comfortable having a white because it's a lot brighter than grey underneath, and I think it's just I think it helps. It probably doesn't. It might be all in my head, but I try and use white wherever I'm using sort of bright colours. It just seems sensible, and a lot of people suggested it before, and it seemed to really help, so that's what we went with. I didn't use tape in a lot of places for the straight lines. I think I went back later and corrected it, because I just needed to make sure they were perfectly straight, and actually ended up using some decals later to get those lines in place, so in the end it didn't really matter too much. That definitely wasn't planned though. I didn't even realise there were decals to go on there. It's just sort of something I noticed afterwards. But yeah, I was really happy with the result we got in the end. I think the actual kit looks stunning. I did leave most of the wing white, and then painted them later, realising actually the ends of it needed to be sort of an aluminium colour. And finally we're into the decals. Now the decals themselves, I ended up getting the sheet a little bit wet, and it did ruin one of the sort of long decals that goes on the side. But I'll be really honest with you, the decals weren't bad at all, and I think these sort of had a lot less issues with them, mainly because these were sealed in like a bag alongside the actual kit in the box, whereas the other ones were left open to the elements, and it's been like that for a number of years, so I think this kit survived a lot better as a result of that. Putting everything on, did it just water and then put decal fix over the top afterwards. I did stretch a couple of them by accident, but again, these decals seem really, really durable. I had so few issues with them, and genuinely, they were some of the best I've ever had. I've said this before when I did my CR42 Folgo, that I think Italeri do amazing decals that just have so much more durability than other manufacturers do, and that remains the case with this kit. I had very, very few issues with it, with this actual kit itself. The only issues I had were those of my own making, and a lot of that is just impatience. So, you know, the actual decals, I couldn't rate them higher enough. I would 100% build another one of these kits without any hesitation, because it was really fun. You know, once I actually put everything together, it was really fun. And I know that I originally started making this kit back in October, and it's just sort of sat around for ages, and I'm thinking, we'll probably do it soon. And once I started doing it, I had so much fun doing it, and you know, it was a nice way to spend sort of mid-December getting this kit all done and dusted, because it's such a lovely little thing. And I chose number 8 for the numbers because I think we've done a 6 and 7, so it just made sense to do number 8. I think in the end I did actually put the wrong name under it, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Not everything is put on here in the end, and you're not going to see me finish the whole kit off. I only recorded doing so much of the decals. So we're going to go and have a look at the finishing now. That's it, we've built the MB-339. There are a couple of points we're going to have to discuss. We'll go through sort of a review of the overall kit. But first of all, let's have a look at what we've got. I think all of the aircraft together look amazing. This set as a whole from Italeri with the 3 aircraft I think looks amazing. Academy, Revell, Italeri all did really good jobs on the kits that they produced for the F-86, G91 and MB-339 respectively. I will say the decals, which I think are all by Italeri, look stunning on every single model kit. I must say the MB-339 does seem to have the best decals, but I think this might be because they were in a sealed packet, so they were protected from the elements, whereas the other ones were just left loose in the box, so I think that's the only reason. Now, on my particular kit, I did mess up the decal, the roundel here, and also this side one. My actual decal sheet got wet, and so this one sort of just got malformed as I was cutting it out. That's my own fault, so that's nothing wrong there. If we look at this side of the model kit only though, that's sort of the side I'm really happy with. Canopy took a while to fit, it didn't seem to just want to go on straight. There were a couple of issues with that, but it wasn't that bad. The instructions, on the other hand, I have massive issues with. It does not tell you where every single decal needs to go. Not everything is numbered on here that I could tell. There are white stripes that I believe are meant to go down the side that I have included on my kit that just weren't numbered, or I couldn't work out that they were numbered on there. There were a couple of bits that I didn't find particularly helpful on here. Whereas, you know, on the actual kit, I think I've done an okay job. I did leave some of the smaller decals off my kit, mainly because I was just sort of happy with where it was and thought, hey, you know what, I'll leave it there. Probably not the right decision, probably should have carried on and finished it, but to be honest, I'm really happy with this. It makes me smile every time I see it, so I'm really, really thrilled with this model kit. The lines that you can see on the drop tanks, they're actually ones I painted on. So I painted the inside white and then painted the aluminium on it afterwards, so that's how we've got the lines there. But I mean, overall, this kit I think just looks stunning. Even though I messed it up slightly, I'm still really happy with it. It just looks really nice. It's a really, really nice kit. What can I say? Construction of the kit overall went together really smoothly. It was like any sort of Hawk, I felt, I guess, in terms of like assembly. It was really simple, really straightforward, so I had no problems with that whatsoever. Painting of it was really straightforward as well. It's pretty much just aluminium and Lufthansa blue that you need to use, so again, really, really easy. Everything about this kit screams beginner for me, and that excites me. I always think beginner kits are sort of few and far between, and the more colourful they are, especially when they're display teams that, you know, kids see at air shows, that's always a wonderful thing. I think I'd say buy it on the basis that the Revell G91 is really hard to get hold of and expensive, and it also includes Frecce Tricolori decals already, which, you know, is pretty great. Of course, you could just get the main G91, but I mean, that's like 15 to 20 pounds or euros, depending where you're from, which when you add the other 2 aircraft in, realistically, it's not that good value for money. But if you just want to build the MB-339, or even just want to build maybe 2 of the aircraft, I'd probably recommend just buying them individually. The main boxing is much newer, and you're going to have less issues compared to the G91 that's included with this set, where again I had issues with some of the decals. The MB-339 you can buy individually boxed for probably between, let's say, 9 to 15 pounds or euros, again depending where you're from. That's the prices I see for them quite regularly anyway, at least second hand. I think this boxing is really good for people who want to build all 3 aircraft, no doubt about it. I do not regret buying this kit as a whole. But for someone who's just looking to build, you know, 1 or 2 of the aircraft and isn't actually that fussed about the 3rd one, I don't think it's a great kit. It's not good enough value for money anymore. When it was brand new, it would have been, but nowadays it's so rare that it's just not. That's kind of just the way of things with model making though, right? Either way, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me on another model making adventure. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons to be informed of new videos coming up soon. I release videos every Monday and I stream on Sundays at 4:30 PM. Bye! Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell to be notified of every new video on Mondays. You'll also be able to see me stream live on YouTube. Thanks again, I really appreciate it. Have fun modelling!